Today I'm going to be talking about how we can go from religious conditioning to spiritual empowerment. A lot of times people get stuck going from their spiritual awakening to continuing into spiritual empowerment because of their religious conditioning. When you grow up in a religious sect, religious culture, your parents raised you in religion, it is very hard to separate from that. And one of the biggest reasons is because of isolation. When we are isolated, we feel in danger. We feel like we can't be ourselves. It's a very scary feeling. And I know that personally, but for me, it was more important for me to seek the truth and what was authentically aligned to myself rather than being alone, or being accepted by my community. Because I understood that eventually I would find that community, I would find that interaction with other people who are like-minded in this way. And it was really encouraging to listen to other people speak about this online, because then I understood, I'd hoped that there were other people that were having the same thoughts as me. So when something really big happens in our life, something pivotal and painful, we tend to seek answers. We want to know why this is happening. We want to figure out why did God place this into my life? And a lot of times when we go inward, we start to see more of the truth. We start to see more of our conditioning, more of the things that were keeping us small, that were keeping us stuck in this uncomfortable place. And for me, when I started to uncover these things, when I was doing my inner work, I started to see there was a lot of religious conditioning. There was a lot of unconscious behavior in the people that were around me and also in myself. I started to understand my childhood upbringing and why I did the things that I did because of how I was raised. Now I want to ask you, have you ever felt like your faith was more about rules than it was about your genuine connection with God? For me, I always felt like I had a genuine connection with God, but there was always something keeping me stuck, keeping me from understanding the full picture. I always knew that there was more to God than what I was learning, what I knew currently. And I just didn't know how to get there. I felt like I had to read the Bible over and over and over to find that. And after spending 20 plus years reading the Bible, the answers were still almost the same. They would change a little bit as I developed in my spirituality, but I felt like I needed more of a revelation, and you might be feeling that same way too. And the reason for that is because God is pushing you. God feels like you're ready to receive more truth. And more truth a lot of times can be very uncomfortable because we cannot contain that kind of truth, that kind of light inside of our bodies. But through integration, through nervous system regulation, we can hold more and more knowledge. We are a vessel. Think of a pitcher. It can only hold so much water. But if you expand that pitcher, if you make it bigger, then it can hold more. So same with you. If you are expanding, if you are growing, if you are letting God expand your vessel, you can hold and contain more wisdom, more knowledge, more light. So what is religious conditioning? Religious conditioning is relying on external influences to decide how you are going to think about the world, how you are going to act out in your faith, instead of relying on your own inner discernment. Things that are keeping you small and only keeping you at a threshold are things like fear of punishment versus trusting the divine, and looking for permission instead of relying on your own spiritual sovereignty, and also not feeling good enough when you are good enough. Unfortunately, a lot of this religious conditioning has happened because of patriarchal societies and structures that have understood the power of the feminine, understood the power of women, and have ultimately been afraid of that power. And when I say power, I mean women have an immense ability to hear from the divine, to know what's going on, to have telepathic energy. And something interesting about women is that we have the capacity to embody both the feminine and the masculine. Men really only have the capacity to hold their masculine energy. And that's why men crave being around an embodied feminine woman, is because the women have what they do not have. It's a part of them that completes them. So in order to transition from this religious conditioning to spiritual empowerment, I encourage you to journal what feels heavy to you and what feels light. And then I want you to journal, where is fear dictating your faith? When you start to become aware of these conditionings, and when you start to trust your intuition, you allow for curiosity instead of fear. And then you can understand that God is not a transactional God. He is a God of love and gentleness. So I see spirituality now is an unfolding journey, and it's a beautiful journey. It's not a set of rules. A lot of times we get so stuck that we do not continue to explore new ideas and become curious. Because if we become curious, then we start to ask questions and we start to fall down rabbit holes and we want to talk about it. And if it's not resonating with people around us, it feels very isolating. But I give you permission, and I had to have this done for me too. I give you permission to be curious, to seek out answers, to speak your truth. Because the more that you do that, the more you'll align with the peace that is inside of you, the joy and the truth that is inside of you, and the more authentically you can bloom. And as a result, you can then find and reach and be attracted to the people and the energies, experiences, things in existence that align with that authenticity inside of you. You are not alone on this journey, and what you are going through is valid. It's a beautiful unfolding. Allow it to be that way, and trust that whatever you're going through is perfect. Even if it's painful, trust it. Trust the pain, because the pain is purifying you. Just like working out or sweating, it is releasing those toxins out of your body. So just like these painful situations, just sit in the pain, allow the pain to be there so that it can cleanse you. What's one belief that you are currently unlearning right now? Drop it in the comments or send me a message. I love to hear your story. And if you're needing some support during this time, I do offer one-on-one coaching. I have one spot left this month. So if you're interested in that, book a discovery call with me, and I'd love to talk to you about what's keeping you stuck in your journey or in connecting to your feminine energy. I hope you have a great day, and thanks for listening.